1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is awesome. I'm excited. So I just want to point out before I start the High Fly workshop, that's what this is, unless you just accidentally came an hour early. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. So yesterday, Ricky does the second part of training because he's really good at setting people up for appointments and teaching it. And he says, okay, who's going to be at the High Flyer? Do you remember he said, okay, who's going to be here tomorrow? And he essentially did a confirmation. Okay, so I want to make a point here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, right? So there are 16 people. 16 people confirmed. How many people are here? 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Right, so 16 said yes. Jeff, I'm going to be here. I want to learn the extra tips that'll put me apart from everybody. I want to learn how to do a $10,000 fast start. I want to separate myself, but not everyone showed up. And I want it that way. I want it that way every week. Anyone know why?
Shows you who's serious.
Yeah, it shows who's. It's like slang. It shows me who's down to get down, right? It shows me if you really want to come and get extra tips. And I say the division manager who runs the whole office, who when he sold Cutco in 1997 was the #1 seller in the whole company and made $26,000 in 3 months, is teaching something extra. You would think, right? You would think, well, let me go, and it's only an hour early. But here's my thing. If you can't get up an hour earlier, then what I'm going to teach you won't apply to you, because if you can't get up an hour earlier, certainly the work ethic's not going to be there to get a $10,000 fast start. So I applaud you, and I want to tell you a true story. When I was in college, a short story, University of Maryland, big school, lectures were 200, 250 people at a time for physics, organic chemistry, all these crazy classes. And I had this one, Dr. Bhagat was my Indian physics 2 professor, and he talked like this to all the people. He said, oh, very nice to say, oh, sweetie. He always say, sweetie and young man. Hello, sweetie. Oh, hello, young man. Sweetest little, he was like this tall, you know. Had his coffee all the time, so that's why I got my coffee on purpose. I'm like Dr. Man. He would like, you know, he's like that. Old guy, but brilliant professor. So anyway, long story short, he had this exam, and he said, okay, well, this exam will be 45% or 50% of your grade. We're like, that's no pressure. And he said, we will have a review session this Friday. The exam was Monday. We'll have a review session Friday, 7:30 p.m. We're like, oh, Friday, 7:30? I mean, that's time to study, you know? That's study time, or pre-study, right? That's pre-study time. So we're like, okay, well, there's 200 people. I want to get a great grade. Even though I like to play hard, I like to work hard just as much with school. So I said, okay, I'm going to go. And there are about 30 of us out of 200. Kind of very similar to this, okay? And he walked in. He goes, oh, hello, sweetie. And hello, young man, handsome. Looking, we were all dressed to go study, right? We were all dressed to go out. And he goes, okay. So he pulls the board open. There's just 3 very complicated problems. And he says, okay, let's discuss. And he goes, okay, tell me. And he goes, enjoy. Enjoy. He goes, enjoy. Write it down. Like, okay. And he goes, no, just stop talking. Write it down. I'm like, all right, so write it down. He asks, well, you guys know where I'm going with this, right? So he covers all the questions and he clarifies. I mean, it's really, I was not a physics guy. I got into med school. Physics was not because of physics. It's because of the other stuff. Anyway, you guys know where I'm going with this? So Monday the test comes. Okay, open the test. Had the little sticker. You had to break the seal. Open the test. You have 1 hour. Same 3 questions. Like word for word. And then let's say Ali here went to the review session. He'd walk around and he'd smile, like kind of like, I got you, right? Okay. And so we all got awesome grades. Okay. Then the last exam was the rest of the class. It was like another 30, 40%, something ridiculous. He just did 2 exams. And he said, we'll have a review session. We're like, oh yeah. And someone said, so did you go to review? I'm like, oh no, it's not that good. Oh no, don't go to the review. Because we want the curve to go our way. So we went again, and there were, of course, some people heard, so there were like 40 or 50 people out of 200. And same thing, and someone said, hey, Dr. Bhagat, thanks for hooking up the answers and just, you know, letting us know what to do. And he stopped, and he goes, oh, my child. He calls, he's old, so he calls everyone his child. He goes, oh, child, I'm not teaching you. I'm not giving you the answers. I'm teaching you. And if you're willing to put the effort, he went in this whole speech, if you're willing to go out of your way on an inconvenient time to get extra education. I'm willing to teach, and I'm going to make it easier for you to be successful. And the thing he made the point was, I gave you the key. I didn't give you the answers. You have to do the work still. They have to go through the whole process. And it was really interesting because we got good at physics, and that's kind of my story. Now, I'm not Indian. I'm not going to call you my child or sweetie for sure, but this is my version of I'm going to give you the keys. When I was in my first 10 days, I sold $15,000 worth of Cutco, and I want to talk to you about having a $10,000 fast start. Is that cool? So we do that. So real quick in your notes, brand new sheet of paper. At the top. I'm going to write down 10 to $20,000 plus fast start. 10 to $20,000 plus fast start. That means you'll sell. Right? So the first thing I want to do is talk about all the things you can gain from selling $10 to $20,000. So the first thing, let's just start with income. When you sell 10,000, you earn $2,000. When you sell 20,000, you earn $5,000. That's again within a span of how long? How long?
10
10
days.
This is all 10 days. So the first benefit is a lot of money in a short period of time. That's the first thing you'll gain. The second benefit is the amount of free Cutco that you earn. It's going to be just shy of $1,800 worth of Cutco products. And who can tell me what's the advantage of having all this product again? Hey, you sell more. Why? Yeah, it's easier to show. So your kit, instead of the $470 or so kit I'm going to give you today, which by the way is awesome, we sell a lot from it. It just expands all the way up to what, 4 times as much essentially. Okay. Also, experience. So what happens if you work really hard for your first 10 days and you're getting lots of appointments in, getting comfortable doing the presentation? What's going to happen eventually with just you learning the position and just understanding? Yeah, more professional. Your confidence goes up and so forth. That's a big part of why it's worth it to work hard now in your first 10 days. Okay. Then, at $10,000, you earn VIP night. Now, this is, of course, more of a materialistic thing, but it's fun. And if you sell $10,000, you become, and I know this is the word I'm going to use is really awkward for this situation, but I'm going to use the word immortalized. Right? What does immortalize mean? You can't be touched forever. But you only get your first 10 days. How many times? Yeah, and no matter how long you're with us, some of you are with us just for the summer. That's totally cool, and I hope you get the best experience ever. Some of you, you're going to get into our management training program in the fall, and whether you go to school here or all the way in California, you're going to be training leadership, management training, life skills, so that one day you have a chance to work in management with us. And no matter what, some of you might even continue to come back every single summer. I don't know. But what I do know is that you only get one fast start. And when people say, oh, Tavis, how did you do when you first started? People always say, so what was your fast start? It's like GPA in college. What's your GPA? What's your major? Here, what was your fast start? And you say, oh, talk to Nick. Oh, Nick, what was your fast start? Oh, it was 10,042. Oh, you're a 10K fast starter. Like you become immortalized. I know it seems silly, but the star is a big deal. And it might seem silly to you, not when you get it. Right? It's like, oh, that's kind of corny. It's not corny to the people who get the star. Right? And the star goes up there, your name or goes on the poster, and you become an example forever in your Cutco career. Not to mention you become a big example that we point to often here at the Fort Lauderdale team. Okay? So that's 10,000. And the VIP night is a chance for me to take anyone, not just in this office, but anyone in South Florida that hits $10,000 for the first 10 days, we take them up for a night on the town. And I don't throw a bad party. I stand by that. I don't throw a bad party. It'll be fun. It'll be classy. It'll be professional. But it'll be it'll be red carpet. It'll be exclusive. It'll be your prom on steroids. How about that? That's what it'll be. But it'll be, we roll up to whatever restaurant we choose, and we don't choose bad restaurants. And we always have private room, private wait staff, private menu. People come in, and it's wine and dine. If you're not of age, it's just really awesome dine, okay? And it's fun, and you're with champions, and you're with people who do really well. What's the benefit of doing that? Meaning, go ahead. Well, you get better, but you make connections with other performers in the company. If you want to be really good at soccer, what teams do you play for? The hard teams to play for, the best teams, right? Don't play for the rec team where everyone gets time. Play for the team where you have to earn your spot. Well, that's what the VIP does from a business standpoint, but from a fun standpoint, if I just show you pictures from every 10K VIP night I ran, there's never a bad time, and it's just great to make friends and so forth. For you guys that have the travel bug, okay, at $15,000, you get the Dream Vacation Voucher. The company's going to give you $1,000 and say, here's $1,000. Customize the vacation of your dreams. And the great thing about living in South Florida, we're the hub of travel. You guys know that, right? Here on the East Coast, it's DC, New York, Miami, and then California. And that's the hub. So you can create, for $1,000, you can create one heck of a vacation. How many of you do have a travel bug, travel itch? Like to travel? Okay, so this might be motivating for you. The last thing I want to talk about, last two things. Dirty 30 and pride. Dirty 30 and pride. So I want to talk about Dirty 30 for a second. What's up, Alex? So 30%, you guys remember, how much do you have to sell to get to 30%? Right? You have to get to $10,000. We call that Dirty 30 because a couple things. Number one, you get the cool hat. Right? That's like the lowest of all the perks. The hat represents, again, you immortalize yourself. Your first summer, you got to 10,000 and you're a Dirty 30 winner. There's a end of the summer payoff where we usually either go to the beach, we go rent out a whole section of Marlins Stadium, we do something fun for, again, all the people who are performing for the same reasons I like the VIP night. Performers hang out with other what? Other performers. But also, you qualify for an interview for our AGL school, which is our Aggressive Growth and Leadership Management Training. So if you aspire to maybe get that entrepreneurship experience of running an office for yourself as an 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old college student, if you ever have aspirations of being in business for yourself, or you just want a resume that's completely different from anyone else in your major, I highly recommend working hard for Dirty 30 so you can get that opportunity to interview with us for our management training program. I love that I can talk about Erica Timmons. Erica, this young lady, was in our Miami office, 18 years old, high school graduate. Sold over $30,000 plus worth of Cutco last summer. Made about 9-10 grand plus with us last summer, making 50%. Goes to FSU, has her first year of college, is in our management training program, and 1 year later, she's running all of Fort Myers as a 19-year-old college student. She's the boss of Fort Myers for Cutco. She does what I do, but she runs all of Fort Myers at 19. And I think that's just such an awesome experience. Another part of Dirty 30, though, is the financial. And I can't downplay it because I know money's not the most important thing, but no one wants to be broke either. I know money's not the most important thing. Some of you, I know 4 of you for a fact don't need money. It would be nice, but how about just your own money? That's where the pride comes in. It's like having your own money or having flexibility, because those of you I know that have money, because mom and dad are it's fortunate mom and dad will support you. It's better to have your own money because then you can have the flexibility to do what you want to do. And this just, for me, it was pride, like having my own income. I love being able to cut a check for college and say, Mom, I got it. Okay? But this is more long-term, the 30%, because when you're at 30%, check this out. Let's say you sell $10,000 in your first 10 days. You're going to be working a lot. So no matter what, if you go for a $10,000 faster, and we're gonna determine today if you want to go for a $10,000 faster or something less or more. If you do put the effort into it, you will work really hard for 10 days, but the benefits are pretty awesome, right? Think about that. But after the 10,000, after you sell 10,000, on the 11th day, I will tell you not to do any appointments. I'll have you come in, and we'll meet one-on-one to plan out the rest of your summer schedule to see how you want to work. But you have an advantage now. Why? Because what's your commission? It's 30%. So let's say that next week after you do 10,000, you decide to go really part-time. You decide to sell, I don't know, $2,000. Let me ask you a question. If you sell $10,000 in 10 days, right? How many days do you think it'll take you to sell 2,000? 1 or 2 days, okay? So let's say that means this next week you're working 1 to 2 days a week. The next week. Okay. The rest of the other 5 days, 6 days, you're at the beach or whatever you guys want. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. Okay. And what percentage are you at now? Right? Well, let's say how about this? Even 1 to 2,000. Let's say you work 1 or 2 days the next week. I'll give you 1 day. So that's 300 to 600 on 1 or 2 days worth of work. That's why we say you can work part-time but make what? Or you can work full-time but make big time. How about that? What if you just decided to keep going? $6,000 to $10,000 at 30%. It gets pretty nice. That was me. My next week after selling 15,000, I sold another 7. But I was at 50. Yeah, I was about 30%. So my paycheck the next week, and I did only 5 days worth of week. Instead of working 10 days straight, I only worked 5. I took 2 days completely off. Can't even tell you what I did. All right, I didn't do any Cutco. 5 days worth of work, I sold $7,000 or $8,000. My paycheck the next week on less work was $2,100. Cool. Okay, so let me just quickly review the income. Oh, I downplayed this, but I mean, so for some of you, making money right now is important too. What if I told you, who here, money is like one of your top 2 motivators right now? Not in a bad way. Okay, yeah, right? Okay, so let's say you worked really hard and I decided to cash out your paycheck instead of giving you direct deposit. And we put, boom, $2,000 cash, like a drug dealer. That's weird, right? But cash, so you see it. How would you feel? Pretty awesome. I think that's like, if money's motivating to you, that you'd be pumped, okay? Whining and dining or celebrating or being amongst people. Who likes to go out and celebrate? Okay, so I'm not with a group that's reserved, okay? Who likes to travel, okay? Who likes the product, just not for the selling out, but who like genuinely, like you really like the knives? Okay, they're awesome, aren't they? But there's also the value of happiness. Your average order automatically goes up. And then finally is the experience of just getting better at the job, and then the long-term benefits of Dirty 30. So far, so good? Okay. Here's what I like to do. I'm gonna I'm gonna come back to this. So now, let's stop there for a quick second. Of all the things I just covered, like what's standing out, what's getting you excited, just in general? Good.
The experience.
Okay.
The managerial, like,
Cool.
it's really different.
What else is standing out that you weren't really aware of by going for 10? That's a better question, right? Because I would argue anything here is exciting, depending on who you are. But like, what's now clearer? Where you're like, oh, I didn't know going for 10K faster. Okay, that might be something I was thinking about. Tavis.
The 1,800.
Yeah, for the easier sales later. Okay, you were gonna say, Nick?
Yeah, and also the benefits of the Dirty 30.
Yep.
How we can work them just a little bit less, but we're still making money afterwards.
That's right.
Yeah, I didn't put together how like selling 10K worth of products also gets you to the 30, so like then it's easier afterwards.
Yeah.
I just didn't correlate.
Right. That's why we run this workshop. What else stands out? Anything else?
The possibility. It's just becoming clearer to me because you just wrote out the numbers for 30. You can even, not this going to be a goal, but if we sell $300 per appointment and we have 10 appointments, that's 2K, and then we have 30% on top of that.
$600. Yeah. Oh, and let me go further. Let's talk about the students that are local or farther away. Let's see, UNC Chapel Hill. Who's out of state for school? Chicago, Elmhurst, Gainesville, farther. Okay. Well, here's the cool thing. I have a guy named Robbie Madfis who goes to Northeastern in Boston, where he does appointments in his pajamas in his dorm room virtually. That's where you call your customer up and they're just on the website with you. You don't have to be Skyped or anything. We were talking about this earlier. And he sells probably between $500 to $1,000 on 2 appointments on Thursday night before he goes out, Friday after class, and Saturday after he wakes up from going out Friday night. So there's 5 appointments a week from his dorm room around studies. His GPA is through the roof. He gets to go out when he wants, and he has all the money he needs for that. And he's making 50%. So he's making $250 to $500 doing that, and the rest of the time study and personal. So that's pretty cool, especially if you're an athlete, if you have sports, you have music. Anything, I think that's a big deal too. Anything else stands out? Okay, so now let me give you the framework. That's the next section of your notes. Let's talk about this. Is the framework of what it takes. And that's the scientific math. You do 40 appointments, it doesn't matter. You'll do $10,000 in sales. Okay, you sell 10,000. You do 40 appointments rather. You will sell $10,000. Not maybe, not kind of. You absolutely will. You do 40 MAC customer appointments, okay, or 40 MAC and MC appointments. Okay. Now, as far as those single people, some of them will approve, and on Monday we'll be able to approve more of those. But if you do 40, that's the key. So what's the key? If you want to get 40 appointments, what do you think a big key is for this? You need to have what? You need to have phone numbers. So that's the next step. So we call this your attack list. Your attack list is the most important thing to your business right now in your first 10 days. is having the appropriate amount of numbers to call, because you can be really excited to sell Cutco, have $1,800 worth of it, but if you don't have anyone in front of you, you're not making orders. So part of that is knowing two things. Tactless, knowing the 4 gears. We talked about this before. The 4 gears are the types of people you can call. We covered this on Thursday. If you came here yesterday, you didn't hear this yet, so I'll teach it to you. There are 4 types of people you can call. Who are the first people that you're already knowing how to call? Friends and family. Those are easy. Who knows why those are easy to call? They already know you. Trust, comfort. But keep in mind, too, don't stray from the script, because when you stray from the script, it's more casual. When it's more casual, it's more likely to what? Fall through, cancel, reschedule. Yeah. And the reason also it's easier, do your friends and family know you? Yes. Okay, so they know you. Yeah. Are they affiliated with you? Yes, it's your blood or close family friend. So you'll see in a second why this is the easiest person to start calling and why you should maximize every friend and family member. Second, I'll teach you this. The first recommendation is acquaintance. Okay. Recommendation, REC, acquaintance. Who remembers from Thursday? What's an acquaintance?
You know them.
Okay, ready? You know of, or they know
Of you.
of you, or it's been a while. I'll say it again so you can write it down. You know of them, they know of you, or it's just been a while. Meaning, it probably is friends and family, but it's been a while. Know of you, you know of them, been a while. And here's why this is good. Do you know them?
Yeah.
Right. Know of them, or they know of you. But you're not necessarily affiliated. So it's good. It's just not as easy as friends and family. I will teach you that approach on Monday. So this Monday, I will teach you how to call acquaintances. But see, this is a really important part. Let me go to the next part. Third is recommendations. Directories. Third is recommendations, but directories. What's this mean? You have an address book of people who went to your high school, your church, your synagogue, all those. Your soccer roster, money, soccer rosters, dad's colleagues. I had, who else? High school directories, band directories, whatever can get you a bunch of phone numbers at one time. Now, do you know all the people in your dad's colleagues workbook? You know all the people at your high school necessarily? No. But are you affiliated with them? Yes. So these two are equal. Okay. But these two are also the gold mine to take you to 40, which will get you to the fast card. I'll say that again. Steps 2 and 3 are the gold mine because it's where you're going to explode your network. Okay? So these are people. Tell me someone in your life that's an acquaintance or directory. Give me a directory that you personally have in your circle of life. Circle of life, Lion King. In your circle or acquaintance. Give me an acquaintance.
My sister's school, so like her friends, I'm kind of friendly with because they're
Okay.
not that much younger than
What's your
me.
sister's name?
Sophia.
Sophia. So you're Sophia's sister to them.
Yeah.
Hi, Miss So and So. This is Sophia's sister.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, honey. Right. Okay. Give me someone else that's an acquaintance.
Organization,
Okay, like what for you?
Eastern Star,
Okay, Eastern Star. Is that more for this for you or for your mom and dad?
for me.
Okay, so you would call the mom and dads I don't know if you know me, but one of the kids from Eastern Star. Okay. How about something more personal, like middle school church choir director? That's my first chicken list call. Okay. So we also call this the chicken list. Why? Because sometimes you're chicken to call them. We also call this the nah list, right? These are people you wrote down yesterday, like, okay, I'm going to call them. I can't wait to call them. Oh, Miss Alana's going to be awesome. Nah, okay. And raise your hand if you had some nahs in there. Of course. Those are the people I want you to call. Not now, not today, when I teach on Monday. I'm going to teach you step 2 and 3. But why are we chicken to call these people? Yeah, and why is that awkward? Just because it's different, right? Okay. This is such a great skill I'm going to teach you is how to speak to people where it's not easy to speak to them. That will put you in a different level, not here, in life.
Yeah.
In life. But ready? I just want to walk you through this, hopefully that you'll just get comfortable. So when I teach on Monday. What's the worst case scenario when you call Mr. Tavis and his wife who are from the old neighborhood? I'm just making something up. The old neighbors that we haven't spoke to in 7 years since we've moved. And I used to play with their daughter and son out in the yard all the time. and now we don't even see each other. What's the worst when I call Miss Davis's wife? What's the worst?
I'm not interested.
She says no, not interested. What's worse than that? They're like rude.
They don't
That's the
remember
worst. The
you.
worst is like, oh, how dare you! Ah! Right? Now here's the cool thing. Are you gonna show that person Cutco? You have to meet in front of that person? If they're that nasty, you have to spend 45 minutes of your time with them. No, who's ever worked retail before? They always say what? The customer's always. That's not true. That's not true at all. You ever seen a rude customer? To someone that you're watching, you're like, that is so rude, but it's the customer, not the rep. That's when is that ever right? That's why I would never work retail. Well, yeah, the customer's always right. Rude people and disrespectful people are never right in my book, ever. But in our business, you don't set people up for those appointments. If someone's rude, let's say, and I know one of the sweetest people in our training, if Miss Leah, my neighbor's friend, who I kind of met one time at a party, is that rude, you don't have to see her. I was like, okay, I'm so sorry to bother you. Ouch. Rough day, rough life, sorry, right? Or what's the best case scenario when you call the chicken list? You call, go ahead, they say what?
Yes.
You call Miss Sue Ranbaron, your middle school church choir director, where it's been 7 years since you've seen her. She picks up the phone. Hello, hi Miss Sue, this is Jeff, this is an approach. Jeff Gamboa, I'm not sure if you remember me. She goes, she cuts me off, she goes, Jeff Gamboa. I was like, yes. I was like, how's it going? She goes, oh, great, what's going on? And she's like, oh, I heard your sister's playing soccer now at George Washington. I went, oh yeah. What the hell is she? I don't even know if she knows all this. But she knew it. Right? Kept talking. She's like, yeah, hey, are you doing Cutco? I was like, yeah. She goes, you better get over here, son, because we need new Cutco. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I went to the house, she walked in, and she pulled out all of her Cutco. Her husband was on the grill barbecuing. You just want to eat first? I'm like, yeah, let's eat first. Barbecue, guess what we used to cut the barbecue? Cutco. Galley plus 6 is a gift, 32 recommendations, and 30 of those recommendations purchased. And I almost didn't call her because I was a little chicken to call her. It was, oh, it's weird, I haven't talked to her. Okay? Get over it if you want this to get that. Plus, it'll give you great skills for your what? Your experience. That's really awesome. So I'm going to teach you this, how to call. I'm going to go around very quickly. Give me, if I call on you, give me one person who you know, I mean, they're a good customer, but they're on your chicken list, and you definitely have been feel a little chicken to call them. Give me one person. Who is it?
Sabrina.
Aunt Sabrina. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay, who?
My school director.
Anyone in your school directory?
Yeah.
Can I use a great example? So Annie goes to a school named Miami Country Day. Her friend Kiana works here, also goes to the same school. So she's like, I don't know if I want to call. I only seen her a couple of times. So she called her, or I forget the name of the lady because there's so many. And she says, oh, sweetie, yeah. And I said, what happened? She hung up the phone. She goes, that was the nicest person, even nicer than any of my family. And so what do you learn? Don't be chicken. I think she sold her, I think that was a signature set. $1,600 order. I don't mind being a little chicken. Getting past chicken for that. Okay, give me someone else. Who's on your chicken list?
My cousin,
Been a while.
kind of like a distant cousin.
Okay, so ready? Yeah, removed.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I would say any affiliations of sports or music or extracurricular activities, call through the rosters. I was calling my sister's roster as Cynthia's brother, Jeff. Right? And what's the worst that happens? You get 3 reactions. You get the, they kind of remember you. Like, Tavis, yeah, oh, hey, honey, how are you doing? Maybe that voice, I don't know. Second is, they don't really remember you. Right? Oh, no, I'm sorry. They really remember you. They go, oh, my God, Tavis. How's your mom? Oh, my husband's gonna be so. Or they kind of remember you. Okay, yeah, I remember. Sorry, so go ahead, sweetie. What do you need? And the third is they don't know who the heck you are, but you know them, so it's comfortable, right? They're like, you know, honey, I'm so sorry, I don't remember, but you're one of the kids from St. Thomas. Okay, well, what's up? That's the worst that happens. So again. We're not making any chicken list calls today. But when I teach you on Monday, guess who's going to get the big fast start? The person who already brings the list of those people Monday and says, I'm calling them Monday. I'm ready to roll. If you feel like you have some acquaintances you're ready to call earlier, let me know today. I'll let you call them today. I don't care. It's just as easy to call friends and family to read the script as it is acquaintances. But Monday for sure, I'll definitely let you start calling acquaintances. And then the last one, are the recommendations that you don't know at all. Ready? There's no affiliation, you don't know them. There's no affiliation, you don't know them. So why do you think we don't go from first to fourth gear ever? How come we don't go from the people you called last night and then wherever we get referred to this weekend, if you don't know them, we call them? Why? You stall, right? But why is that bad here? Yeah, it's harder to call those people. You need more confidence and more experience. And eventually, if you want to start calling these, it'll be weeks from now, months from now. I'll teach you how to do that. Okay, I'll teach you how to do that later, case by case basis. Okay. Next thing, you got to know the right phone time. Okay, you've got to know the right phone times. So the first layer of phone time are what we call phone jams. I just put PJ. Good job. Phone jams. What you experienced last night was your first mini, because it was only like 45 minutes to an hour, mini phone jam. A phone jam is where the reps make all their calls together here in the environment of the office. And who can tell me why last night's environment usually is more productive than someone just making calls on their own at home? Okay, distractions between text and social media and the TV and that really awesome ice cream in the fridge you've been waiting for all day. Okay, Luis, Francisco.
Motivation.
Yeah, it's motivation. Ready? How many of you weren't getting an appointment at the time? You heard the bell and you're like, okay. How many of you got like, okay, I'm gonna ring the bell. I'm ringing that bell, right? You know that you're 33% more likely to work out if you actually go to a gym facility. Why? What's at the gym that's not at home? Everyone, people. Who else? Trainers to make sure you don't get hurt. We're the trainers. Okay, what else is there? Mirrors. So right, mirrors. We're the mirrors to tell you if your form's okay. The machines, right here, the scripts and the phone and everything that you need. So, phone jams are important. What's that noise? Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Okay. Sunday, we call this kickstart because if you remember from yesterday, what's the rule in terms of how many days ahead you can schedule? How many days ahead? Why more? No more than 3 days. They're more likely to change because who are the busiest people in the world, right? And how many of you know Mac customers? There's always something coming up. Yeah, why? Because they have kids. That's how it works. So if you go more than 3 days in advance, your percentage of completing that appointment goes to the gutter. So Sunday we call kickstart because you're kickstarting what? You're kickstarting what? The week. Wednesday we call it head start. Head start for what? Weekend. Thursday we call it moneymaker because you need 2 big phone times to book a big weekend. Because usually our reps do more appointments on the weekend. Why? Yeah, there's more free time for the Mac customers. It's easier to book a bigger weekend. And weekends were made for selling Cutco. So these are sessions where everyone just sets up their whole week from the office together. It's a lot more fun too. We do prizes this Sunday. We're doing one for the current team, not you guys. You guys have demos, but our current team is doing a phone jam, and every hour, everyone who has appointments already set, we ring the bell, and we have raffles for free Cutco and gas cards and lunch cards, Chipotle gift cards. So just to make it more fun and it's more motivating to come and do your job and still win stuff. Okay? Now, little disclaimer here. Your last appointment on these days should be no later than 4:30 p.m. Your last appointment of the day on these days, Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday, should be no later than 4:30 so that you don't miss this phone time. Okay? And here's why. I always have a rep that says, well, Jeff, I've got this Monday, Thursday appointment. It's a Mac customer, and they want to buy a signature set for sure. But that's when they can see me. So I want to do it at Thursday at like 7:30. And I always say, well, if they can buy a signature Thursday at 7:30, can't they buy it Saturday at 10 a.m.? Right? Wouldn't you agree? Like if they're that set on getting it, aren't they set on it no matter what day? But literally, if you do that appointment on Thursday night from 6 to 9, you could cut your paycheck in half. Why? What happens? Well, you might not get the sale, but more important, what's not happening Thursday night? You're not doing your phone jam. Let's just do the math. Let's just do the math. Let's say you sell $1,500 in that appointment. So you're dirty 30. Read $450. Is that okay? That's pretty cool. I'll do easier math. Let's do $2,000. Let's say you sell you sell just shy of a complete set. $2,000, 30%, that's $600. Let's say you do your Wednesday, Thursday phone jam, but you don't complete them the proper way. You miss out on that Thursday phone time. How many appointments would you be setting up? What's that? 10 to 12 plus, right? So let's call it 12. Let's say 12 appointments. Okay. 10 sales. Right. I'm just saying you wouldn't sell on all of them. What's the average order? Okay, what's 30% of 300? I would rather make 900 than 600 every time. That's the joke. Hello. But just the math tells you what? Don't miss the phone time to get the sale on Thursday night. Do the phone time, get the sale later. Does that? I hope that sticks, because I always have one person who always says, "Well, Jeff, I got this month." You're just missing the point. You're not doing the math. You're too short term, not long term. Okay. So that's the first phone time. The second one, I'm going to put a star. This is the secret one. This one everyone knows here. Everyone in our office knows. You come to phone jams, you rip it up, you set up a ton of appointments, and you're booked for the weekend or the weekend. This is the secret weapon. Morning phone time. (7:30) to 9:30 a.m. 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. Now, ready? Just from yesterday. Don't act, think, or speak like a who. Yeah, so when you think and act and speak like a college student, you're like, oh my goodness, that is early. For you and your friends. Like if you called your friends right now, they hate you. What are you doing? Just got home. What are we calling? When are max up? Normally, 80%. When are at max up? 5, 6, 7 latest. I'm going to raise your hand, and it's not going to be everyone. Raise your hand if your parents are up before 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. Most. Not everyone, but most. Okay. My mom's not. She's a nurse, so it's like upside down. Okay. So, and what's the worst case that happens here? You call someone at 7:45, 8 o'clock. What's the worst that happens? They don't pick up, or they pick up and they're sleeping. Oh, Mrs. Jones, I'm so sorry. I'll call you back later. That's the worst? No, what's the worst on there? And they're really rude about it? Well, then guess what? You don't see them. I can't believe you called me. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to earn a scholarship. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to be 18 to 22 years old, and I'm working for the summer, not sitting at home. I'm so sorry. I don't apologize. I don't apologize for you. Right? What were you calling me for? Nothing negative. Scholarship, trying to earn money, trying to compete. I've got a contest, put myself through school, experience. I mean, you can't get that any better than that. Okay? So here's the cool thing. Part of what it's going to take for a $10,000 fast start is coaching. This gives us a chance to coach you at the phone jams. But here we have something, and I think Ricky might have covered this. Did he cover Champions Club?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Champions Club, Monday through Friday. If I told you to make $2 to $5 grand, or go on my VIP night, or whatever is exciting you, like the one that's really getting you. If I told you, you would have to come to my office at 5 a.m. every morning, Monday through Friday, with toothbrush and clean the toilet. With toothpaste, water, and your toothbrush. But you have to be at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday, but that's it in the first 10 days. So this coming Monday through Friday, and then you'll have $2 grand in your account by Monday. Would you find, who would get up and show up? Okay. Well, I'm not going to have you clean anything, and you don't have to be here at 5. Champions Club is from 8 to 9:30. That's just early for you guys, not for real, normal, human Mac people. I've been up since 6, and I got up late. I'll say to you, I've been up since 6, and I got up a little bit later to sleep in. I slept in. So I got up at 6:15. And that's what Mac customers do. What I want to do is I want to give you coaching here Monday through Friday, because in your first 10 days, I want to give you the basics every day that I can't give you over the phone. And so the people who are committed to a 10K fast start, all it is Monday through Friday. We meet with you one-on-one. The first part in the Champions Club is actually 8 to 9:30. Put that in your schedule. If you're definitely going for a 10K fast start, Champions Club goes from 8 to 9:30. Goes from 8 to 9:30. The first hour is Phone time, it's like going to the gym. We're going to make you work out. Get your appointments for the day. The last half hour is instruction. Plus, do you think you're the only one that's like come here early in the morning if it's that successful? Who else do you think comes here all the time in the morning? The other 10K fast stars and the best people on the team. Like all the people you've met, they've all been in the morning. Not every morning. In their first 10 days, yes, every morning. But now they come two mornings a week, 1 morning a week, sometimes none, sometimes all 5. Okay. So also, right, you'll get probably 1 or 2 appointments, 5 days a week. So there's 5 to 10 additional appointments. Now you only have 30 to go. How many of you have more than 10 appointments set right now? 10 or more, okay. Now you have 20 more to go. We're just trying to knock that number of 40 down. You see how that works? So this is a critical step because it gives us a chance to coach you. You're getting extra phone time and you're getting extra instruction. And then the last phone time, about 6 p.m. plus, pretty much any day after 6 is okay to go. And you can call up to about 9:15, 9:30, most customers. 9:15, 9:30, past 9:30, you really should know that. 9:30, I wouldn't go past 9:30 unless you know that. Okay. So I'm going to stop there before I give you the last part, which is the instruction on how to sell more. Okay. What are your biggest takeaways? I want to go around. What are the biggest takeaways from this section, from the 40 to the attack list, to the gears, chicken list? We've got the phone jams, the Champions Club, and the no-nos on the phone jams. Biggest takeaways right now. Go ahead. Yeah. There's a set plan. Good. Any?
Probably the chicken list because I was scared to call the people, but now I'm not as scared.
Yeah. Some of you were scared to call friends and family. And you want to call recommendations? You want to go to gear 4? Like, I'd be more comfortable calling people I don't know. Really? I don't know. Okay. What I'm teaching you here, top 3 things you'll learn from our Gear Cutco Summer with us. Can I share a personal story? You okay? Okay. I know Annie for a long time. Annie's like a family friend. I don't think you know that. So I knew Annie went, you middle school?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Middle school. And then Annie calls, Annie's mom texts me. She says, Annie wants to do Cutco training. I need you to, basically her mom said, teach her. Right? And the top 3 things, not just to her, but to all of you that I want you to gain is phone skills here, the ability to present, and then to network and talk to people you're not comfortable with. Because it's not what in life, it's not what you know, it's who you know. You can't know anyone unless you can talk to people that you don't know. That's what will separate you. I'm kind of going off my soapbox right now, but that's a really awesome skill to learn. So I'm glad to get into that chicken. Other takeaways from this? Anyone? What else? What's getting clear for you? Like, okay, if I'm gonna have a 10K faster, I gotta focus on this.
Not all day. Not day.
Oh yeah, that's easy. That's not a big deal. Go ahead, Taylor. Don't give up phone time. That's a big thing. Don't give up phone time. Here.
Then acquaintances and directories are the same because of like knowing them or being acquainted
Yeah.
with them.
These are the same. Acquaintances and directories are the same. I'll teach you that on Monday. Okay. If you feel like you have a very, 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 very small amount of friends and family, I can teach you this today. You just have to make sure you read the script. That's it. Okay. Cool. Last thing. Now I want to give you some tips. First tip is 5 before. That's the structure. These are some extra tips. 5 before, 5 after. What's the total number of appointments you want to go towards if you're having a 10K fast start again? 40, right? So everything you can do to get that 40 knocked out. Monday through Friday Champions Club, knock out appointments. Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday phone jam, knock out appointments. When you're at appointments though, here's the cool thing. If you're early to an appointment, don't go early to the appointment. Kind of park off somewhere to the side. I don't usually like to park in the driveway because they're wondering why you're just sitting in your car. Like park, kind of around the corner of the street or a gas station, or I'm a big Starbucks guy, so I'd be at Starbucks. Okay, because there's always Starbucks somewhere, or some type of fast food place you pull into. And I would make 5 phone calls to see who I could set up for my openings. And then after, five after is, okay, well, let me go to my next appointment and do the same thing. So you're always making calls in between appointments. Now, that's not for your career. That's not how the people who work here do it. Those are for people who are in a 10K fast start to it. When there's a big contest, they're always trying to find ways to make phone calls. After your first 10 days, I would say you probably never do 5 before, 5 after. Unless you're pressed for appointments, unless you have openings you don't want to have open. Okay, that's my first tip. 5 before, 5 after. You guys know this by heart now, right? What's this, 10, 80, 10. What does that mean? Law of averages, that's all it is, my friends. So when you do the faster, eyes up here, really important. Okay? Some of your days will be, most of your days will be average. You're gonna have some days where you go in and you do 5 presentations and everyone loves Cutco. They come in, they feed you like Miss Van Buren did for me. They high five you. Every time you do one of the corny jokes, they're laughing hysterically, and it's like, oh my God, you're the funniest person. You're like, oh my God, just read the joke. It's awesome. Right? And they buy homemakers and signatures and completes for the day. You have a $3,000 day. You made like $200 to $300 to up to $1,000+ for the day. And you're like, man, I love Cutco. I'm going to drop my major, forget school. Don't do that. Right? But that's how you feel. You're like, oh, this is what I'm doing forever. Because you're riding that 10% high. Don't get too high when it's like that. Because then you're setting yourself up for failure, because 10% of your days are going to be the worst Cutco days ever during this fast start. It's going to be days where you go 5 appointments set, 3 reschedule, 2 cancels, 1 doesn't even show up. You know, she's in the house and she's like acting like you're not there. She's so busy. And then you finally get an appointment and you sell a peeler and they give you 1 recommendation. And you're hungry and they haven't fed you. And then you'll go, oh, I don't know if this job is for me. Don't get too low on the lows, right? What's the tip? Don't get too high on the highs and too low on the lows. That's really important, because it's the law of averages. If you just keep doing appointments, it always works out. Jeff Rice, his first weekend, was at $300 in sales. He had 15 booked. He had the worst cancel. No, he wasn't following the script. That's the problem. $300 his first weekend. Got to advanced training. Sold a signature that night. Got to 2,000, and he finished off his fast start almost at 10,000. Really close. Okay? So don't underestimate the law of averages. Be careful, because remember, we can't even fix you. What's the magic number I told everyone yesterday? Get 10 or more. High flyers have said what? 14 or more. But why is the magic number 10? Because how can I even evaluate you unless you get to 10? What's the closing ratio nationwide? 60%. That means 6 out of 10. So if you've done 2, or if you've done 2 appointments and you've sold 0, what is your percentage? 0. This person coming to me saying, Jeff, I don't know if this works, is not a valid or accurate statement. Why? They've done, it's like, I go to the gym a lot. It's like doing 2 push-ups. I get up and I go, yeah, I'm still fat. Please laugh. That was one of my best ones. That was one of my best jokes, and I got 2 laughs. Right? That's like doing. And how many of you go to the gym and see people like that? They'll do 1 set of whatever, and they're already in the mirror, like flexing, and they're. And by the way, I guess scientifically there is a muscle pump, but like you don't lose weight in that 1 set. I promise you. Right? It's like, oh well, I already feel skinny. No, that's not true. No way. No way. You're not. You are not skinnier after 10 push-ups. You can't be. But I have people, they don't understand that. And I have people, I don't think anyone in this group, because the early group, no one comes in early if you're like that. But there are some people, they'll do 3 appointments. It's not for me. We don't know that. How do you know? Let's say you're 0 for 2. How do you know the next 3 are in sales? And then another 2, no sales. That's 7. And then the next 3 sales. Okay, that all equals 10 in my little scribble. That all equals 10, but that person has 6 out of 10 sales. If you get the full 10 done, okay? Remember, how long is training? Training's 10 days. I can't evaluate you until you get to 10, and I can't even get you fully trained with all the things you need to know to do well with us, so you're at least this on average or higher, unless it's 10 days. That's how it works here, okay? So give me that much, give me that much. Last few things. I want to talk about the big sets. With the homemaker. Hey, Daniel or Ricky, can I get retail value, please? I apologize. 1149.
246.
1646.
Oh, sorry. 1629, I believe.
And then
2235.
okay. And don't write this down because I'm gonna give you a price list later with the exact ones. Okay. I just want to give you a rough. If you're wondering why I don't know the prices, because the prices have changed every 2 years for the past 19 years, so they just keep changing.
What is the section that completes its 2379? C is 694.
Okay. So eyes up here. I want to teach you how to sell the signatures and completes. Is that cool? This is my last part, and then we'll take a break. Signatures and completes. The homemaker is awesome, but the signatures and completes are just more awesome, right? What more awesome for you? Why?
Because you get promotions.
More sales, more promotions, easier to hit your promotions, but better for the customer because they have more cut tools. First thing is you have to know price-wise. Remember, think like a Mac. This is like a 42-inch, a 46, and a 52-inch flat screen. Okay? Or MacBook Pro, 13, 15, 17-inch Apple MacBook Pro. That's all it is. And you break it down, the payment plan is like $246, $350, $450 roughly. Think about all of your family and friends that have something in their house worth $2,000, like a TV or anything of that nature, an appliance. The first thing is not to get overwhelmed with the price and don't act like it's big like a hoop. College student. Second thing is to know the difference so you can explain it. Okay. So I'm going to show you the differences a little more in detail. So first of all, we all know this by heart. This is the homemaker. This is the set for people who what? One more time. Who what? Have to cook. And then the signature is if you
Like to cook.
and complete is if you love to cook. What does have to cook mean? You have kids. Like to cook means you have to cook, but once in a while you like to throw down a barbecue or party once a month. Okay? Complete means everything. Either you only like the best, you are the entertainer in the family, you love to cook, or you just love nice things. Any of those four. Okay? So let me tell you the difference. The homemaker, one more review. Ready all together. This first knife is the paring knife for things up in the air. This one's for. This is for. This is for. This is for. This is the. This is for vegetable. This is the. This is for holidays and. How often do you use a table knife? Okay, you guys got that. That's easy. Signature is the same set, except we add 3 tools. Okay, now let me show you the 3 tools. Okay. So the cheese knife, you guys remember the cheese knife? Except the cheese knife here has the wedge lock grip and the thermal handle, not the soft gadget one. It's the one that matches into the set. It's good for compressed food so it doesn't stick. It's also great for entertaining, obviously for cheese. It's got the micro double D edge at the bottom. Second knife is the Santoku knife. Petite Santoku, if you notice, it's the Asian style knife. It's very popular nowadays. It's got 3 blades in one, essentially, 3 uses in one. The back end of the blade is used for dicing and chopping like the vegetable chopper. The middle is used for mincing because it's actually rounded like this. It's used for mincing, like onions, garlic, scallions. And then the front part's very sharp at the point. It's meant for butterflying chicken or ahi tuna, where if it's too thick to cook, you cut it like this. You can open it up like this. It's called butterflying your food, okay? So if you like to cook, these 3 tools come in handy. Oh, and also the Hardy Slicer, which is our most aggressive blade. It's got the very, very thick metal. It's got the double D edge. It's for more aggressive cutting. Anyone ever cut a pepperoni? You know how hard pepperoni is to cut? Same thing. Acorn squash. Anything that's really, really hard that might hurt the rest of the blades. This is the protector. Okay, this is for frozen and bones. But this is for anything that's really tough, but you need the double D edge to go back and forth. Okay, so those are the 3. Also, you guys remember this from yesterday. The homemaker has the signature, rather, has the option for not just the table knife, but what? What's the difference? And what's the difference in function? No difference. It's only difference in what it looks like. This one has more material, so what does that mean? Yeah, so this would be when you get the signature, you upgrade to the steak knives, or the steak knives, it adds like $300 to your order. So instead of 16, it's closer to 18, 19. It's like getting the nicer rims or the nicer stereo, or leather seats instead of cloth seats. That's what this one is, okay? And then the complete set, you can do that as well. The complete set, here's the difference. So you got the 3 extras, but you got everything now with the complete. For the complete, you've got the vegetable knife, which is essentially like the chopping knife, except it's got a larger surface area. So if you're consistently scraping food into the frying pan or the stir fry, you need a bigger surface area to flip it over. Why do you flip it over?
You don't
Yeah, you don't dull it, so you don't wanna scrape like this. Thank you. You wanna go like this. Okay. Cleaver. Every kitchen that has a mom that loves to cook has a big cleaver for their own butchering. A salmon knife, which is a very, very thin, flimsy, straight edge. So thinly sliced salmon for like lox, flame fish. Okay. We've got the petite slicer. Now you might notice we already have the bread knife. So why do you have a petite bread knife? You want to guess?
Smaller bread.
Smaller bread, number one, of course. No, that's the first one. But number two, we use this one in the kitchen, this one at the table. It's not as long of a blade being handed around the table. Okay. Then you've got the boning knife. Take bone, meat directly and fish directly off of the bone. Very accurate blade. And then the cheese knife. It's also got the 4-inch paring knife. So this is the air knife, but the longer version of the air knife for mangoes and avocados. Okay, any questions? Okay, so one more time. Have to, like to, love to. The difference between homemaker and signature is how many knives?
3.
3. Hardy slices for aggressive tools. This is the Asian knife with 3-in-1, and the cheese knife. And you can do the upgrade to the steak knives for signature and complete. And last thing, we don't call it ultimate. Even though this is called the ultimate set by Cutco, we don't call it ultimate because how does ultimate sound? Overwhelming and scary. Versus, oh, it's just the complete. It's everything. Okay, so that's the first way to sell it. Number 2, when do you show the signature and complete? What's the scenario?
When they
Number 1, when they say yes to the homemaker, no problem. You'll say, okay, do you have any gift needs? We have gift cards. Okay. Well, let me call the office first because I need to what? Yeah, you check in with the office and you let us know that you sold the homemaker, and we're going to try and work out a deal for the signature complete. We'll give them a discount or work out some free stuff. Got it? What's the second reason that we show signature and complete? And what?
already have them.
If they already have Cutco and you want to upgrade, you call us and we'll talk about an upgrade. And third one is if they directly say what? I want the best. What do you have? You say, well, let me show you our 3 best options together. That's it. Now, last thing before I hand something out. I want to talk to you about the top signature. And complete sales. The top signature and complete sales in your first 10 days. Statistically, these are the people that will order the signature complete across the board within your first 10 days. And it's going to make sense. Mom and dad statistically a higher signature complete, higher percentage. Favorite aunt. Favorite neighbor. Okay. Mom and dad, favorite aunt, favorite neighbor, grandma, grandpa, both of them. Mom and dad, favorite aunt, favorite neighbor, grandma, grandpa. The BFF's mom. BFF. Best friend. Forever? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Mom and dad, favorite aunt, favorite neighbor, grandma, grandpa, and best friend's parents. Why statistically? It's not even, why is it statistically? They know you, and they like you, and they want to what? They want to support you. So let's say I'm with Kadeem, and I'm like, this young man's working hard. We'll get that homemaker. But for an extra $100 a month, I could get a signature instead. Or we want the signature, but for an extra $100 a month, I could get a complete. Why do you think they pulled the trigger? To support you, right? So what did Ricky say yesterday? Try to show your best 5 people when? Next week? Today and tomorrow, Monday. Yeah, today and tomorrow. That's the most important thing. Cool? All right. Biggest takeaways from those tips real quick, and I'm going to hand something out.
It really helps learning about the ultimate and the signature, or the complete and the signature.
Yep. The biggest thing to note is the signature to homemaker is the biggest one to know because it's 3 knives, and what do they do? Signature to complete is easy. It's just everything in the book. You just need to know. And here's the tip. When you're new, you don't really know the names and uses. I would recommend you go to Cutco.com at some point and just look through and see what they're all used for. But there's a little cheat sheet at the bottom. Every knife has a little cheat sheet on what they're used for. It's worth reviewing it so you know the difference between the three. Okay? All right. So make sure you show your mom and dad, best friend's mom and dad, favorite aunt and neighbor, and your grandparents the bigger sets because they're more likely to be those bigger sets. Last thing, I'm gonna hand out the sheet. Who was here at 8:30 this morning? I want to give you this. So if you were here 8:30 this morning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's one more down. And everyone else coming in for 9:30, welcome. We're wrapping up the workshop. They're different.
It's not double-sided.
Oh, it's the, yeah.
I got the wrong one.
Yeah, they don't-
No, you're good, yeah. I got it.
Okay. Ricky will organize it.
Yeah, thank you.
So the first sheet says high flyer commitment, high flyer workshop, fast flyer commitments. And the second one is for us. Let's just take the second sheet, okay? So one looks like this. Eyes up here from the workshop. That's what we're going to cover right now, and this is what you'll submit to us in just a second, okay? So go through. Of all the things we talked about, you can earn what? Income in a short period of time, 10K VIP night with me, dream vacation, getting on my radar for advancement, creating momentum and experience for the summer, $1,800 in products, dirty 30. Circle the top 3 that motivate you the most, and rank them. 1, 2, 3. Rank them. So rank them. Okay, give you another 10 seconds. Rank top 3 and circle top 3 to 5, and then rank the top 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm just curious, what's your top 3 in order? 1, 2, 3. Alana.
The first one is creating summer momentum and experience. The second is the dream vacation voucher. And the third is the radar project.
Okay, cool. Alex. Nick.
Number 1 is creating some momentum and experience. The second one is radar for advancement, and the third is very ready.
Cool.
First is radar for advancement, second is income in a short period of time, third is creating some momentum.
Okay, cool. One more. Ali, one more.
First is creating summer momentum. Second is 1,800 in Costco products.
Uh-huh.
3 is income short period.
Okay. Next section. It says, what does this fast start do for you? What can it do for you? Okay, just jot that down. I'm going to read these, by the way. So, what does this fast start do for you? What can it do for you? If you're here for the 9:30 session, do me a favor, turn to page 8 and 9. Start reviewing it, just to get practice with it.
Anyone's right? It's like,
Just, in other words, you guys showed up an hour early.
Right.
Not everyone did, and you guys are looking to have a big fast start. I want to know what it's going to do for you and why. Maybe another. Give another minute. Okay, they got it. Ricky, that's okay. No, we're just wasting paper. It's okay. We're just wasting paper. Let's just take those back. You guys, you don't need to take the new one and redo it. Just use the 2 sheets. I only gave them, Ricky, just to clarify, I only gave them the people that were here at 8:30. And the people that are here at 8:30 are just going to give us 2 sheets. We'll staple them. Those will be for next week. But I'll take those, please. Thank you. I just need your help because in a second we'll collect them. Okay. Take a look at the bottom for me, where it says right here. It's a workshop, high fly workshop at the bottom. So this is what the structure is. I reviewed this on the board, but Morning Champions Club from 8 to 9:30, Monday through Friday. Phone Jam Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, with the last appointment at 4:30. We have a high flyer workshop on Friday. That's a high flyer workshop number 2. So it's the second version of this from 4 to 6. And then making sure that you talk to us from every single appointment. I'll explain in about an hour all the details of how you check in, how do you verify, how do you clock in for the day, but making sure you don't miss that. And then, of course, if you're going for a big 10K fast start, I either need you on appointments, you're on the phone to set up appointments, or you're here in the office getting help. That's what it takes to have a $10,000 fast start. If you flip it to the back, it has 3 categories. It has 10K fast start, I'm all in. It has 10K fast start with a question mark. That means I'm all in, but I have a few small concerns that might conflict with a few of the things of the structure, a few elements of the structure, but other than that, I'm in. And then other means something different, and we'll talk to you one-on-one about it. In other words, eyes up here. Don't circle 10K all in if you're not really all in, but if you're all in, we're coaching you hardcore. It's gonna be awesome. If you're 10K fast start, you have a couple question marks, we'll work through it. We might have to say, okay, well, it's not really the full 10K fast start, but it's close. Or we'll say, you know, we can work around that, and we'll coach you. If it's other, circle other so we know what type of coaching to give you. So circle the one that applies to you, put your name, and sign it, please. And we'll talk to you. If you put a question mark, then Ricky Daniel and I will have a one-on-one conversation with you during the phone jam, and we'll figure it out. Okay. And what I need you to do, so you'll just make sure it's like this, please, and hand it in together, and then Ricky will collect them. Please. Okay. Just so I know, who for sure circled like 10K all in? Okay, awesome. Guess what? I'm excited. I'll see you Monday at 8 o'clock for sure. We're going to give you a lot of coaching. My goal is to give you a star 12 days from now and take you out on the town 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, and be celebrating your $2,000+ in income. How many of you circled 10,000 but with a question mark? Okay, let's talk and let's see what the schedule is, if it works out or not. We might, by the way, still be able to go for 10K fast start. And how many of you circled other? Okay, cool. Then we'll talk. 4 of you. Okay, then we'll talk one-on-one. Probably soccer related, right? A lot of stuff. Okay, so we'll work around art stuff at school on art. First, okay, so we'll talk one-on-one, or maybe the schedule you were planning on working and you just wanted to get the information. Okay, good. So eyes up for everyone. So welcome to training. If you just came here for the 9:30 session, we just finished a really awesome high flyer workshop. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna kick off phone jam. I'm gonna give props to those of you that really did a good job during your next phases last night. Did Ricky cover phases with you? You guys know what I'm talking? When I say phase, what does phase mean? It's in the book. We went through the. No.
Definitely covered it.
Yeah. What's the phases? You know this. Well, we read it in the book. I know you covered it.
Where you call during the phone jam and then you call right after.
And then so maybe you don't know it. You call it something different. In the book it said there's different phases to call people. Some of you had a really good phase here. I can see that. You can just see who had a good phase here, who had the high percentage phase, who had an average phase, who had a bad phase. I'm going to get the update here. When I put the music on, we're going to figure out what phases you have here. And then we're going to do one more phone jam right now. Saturdays from 9 to 11 is an awesome time to get a hold of people. So we're going to give you about 45 minutes to jam on the phone and try and get a hold of as many people that you couldn't get a hold of last night. And the same thing, except this time, you ring your own damn bell. Right? And you can actually ring the bell now. You like that? You are allowed to ring the bell. Give me 1 second, wait. Okay? You're allowed to ring the bell. But what I want you to do is mark off the following. Okay? I'm going to ask around how many appointments you got from home last night. When you ring the bell, it's a Saturday morning, it's Friday night. Okay? Just put a mark next to your name and ring the bell. Everyone cool with that? In the meantime, Daniel, Ricky, and I will go around to the 10K fast starters that had a question on their schedule, and we'll discuss. Otherwise, you have 3-day rule. So what does that mean? You can book for today, but you can book for Sunday, Monday, and now you can book for when? For Tuesday, but don't book from 1:30 to 5:30. What's that? No, Tuesday. So look, don't guess. SLDM, right? So if you're over 500, you get that special meeting with me. So don't book during that time. Cool? All right, nice work, everybody. I'm going to hit the music.